This is mic 3.
What?
Everybody say hi. We're live.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Facebook. They're so used to this, so we'll say
Mic
hi
3.
to our Facebook friends. Yeah. All right, Facebook, we're live. So you guys get to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff that you're so used to. I have Becky Easton here in the studio with me and the lovely Anissa Acker. Everybody say hi to my friends.
Hello.
And today's going to be an awesome show. I want to apologize to any of my friends that were hoping out there that they would have the opportunity to see Carrie Schneff in our studio today, because I had posted she was going to be here, and unfortunately, I don't know what it's like to run a farm, but it's hard. I can tell you that, because I have been part of it for a long time, being in the family, and she was unable to make it today. But that's okay, because we're going to have her back another day. So that just means you're going to have to come back. All right, so let's check out and make sure our live video is working. You know how I do this every time. Super bad with technical. All right, we're going to figure this out today. We got this. All right. And, ooh, positioning looks beautiful. You can see all of us very nice in the video. When we get started, Facebook's lucky because we're plugged in, so they get to hear the caller, they get to hear the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens on break, but the Voice America Empowerment channel only gets to hear the commercials when we come back from commercial, then they hear commercials when we go to commercial, so we'll take a couple breaks, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, and when you speak, just make sure you're not this far away, that you're, like, not licking the mic, but you want to pull it, just pull it to you, Anniece, yeah. All right, nice. You're so
Get
little
really
over there.
Close.
Yeah.
Right in here.
Yeah.
This is quite big to have around my mouth.
Okay. It's a very family-friendly show. Sometimes
What
I
are you
have
thinking?
my grandchildren listening,
I wasn't
actually.
thinking
so,
anything.
Just so you're aware.
Okay.
You never
gosh.
know what's going to happen when you get this group of ladies together. We are trouble.
This particular group, I think.
Yeah. Okay, great. So Margarita's on. Awesome. I can barely hear you guys. Are we ready to roll?
We are ready to go here. I'm going to get you started. We'll get going here in about 20 seconds.
You're the best, Monk. You're going to have to jump in here and say hi to my girly friends, too. At some
Okay.
point, you know. They're just going to want to see you and say hi. They want to
You
know.
can't
who
just
the-
be a voice.
I want to know the
behind.
man behind the voice.
Yes.
I am just a voice.
No,
That's
you're
it.
not
No, you're
just a
not.
voice.
You know what?
The
That's
man
okay.
behind the curtain.
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear everything.
I'm good.
You know, I don't mind if I can't see as long as you talk interesting. I can use my imagination. We're all
Talk
good.
interesting to me.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're getting started, so I'm going to send the feed your way.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, here we go. This is how it starts out.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Lead Up for Women.
case you're
Speak
wondering.
up to lead up with Colleen Biggs. Are you ready to lead without permission and take the steps needed to live your best life? Whether you want to start the business of your dreams
I just realized
or
this
celebrate
thing
your
back
present
here.
and future accomplishments,
yeah.
you're
yeah. I never
definitely in
sit
the
back,
right place. Now, here is your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hey there, listeners. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up, and I am your host, Colleen Biggs. Welcome back to the show. We're so glad that you guys are joining us this week, whether it's the morning or the afternoon or the evening for you. We are so thankful that we have so many listeners now across the world. I looked at our stats. We have Russia and Ukraine, and we're in China. We're in Japan. We're, oh my gosh, I can't even count all of the countries that we're in, but we are so thankful that you are joining us on our show today. And this is where we empower women to be you and be the strongest you can possibly be. And of course, lead your life without permission. So I do have a couple beautiful ladies in the studio today, and we are going to be talking with one of our luncheon attendees from our New York luncheon that we just had last week. So in the studio, I have the beautiful Becky Easton with me.
Hello,
She can
everybody.
say hello.
Hi, everyone.
And then I also have Anissa Acker here in the studio.
Howdy.
And then on the phone that we are going to be talking to first is Margarita Chapman. She is a little spitfire, Let me tell you, I met her for the first time at our luncheon, and I love, love, love her energy. So I'd like to go ahead and just bring her on quickly. We want to say hi to our Facebook friends that are out there. And for all of you that are on the radio right now listening, or listening on demand, all you have to do is pop over to our Facebook page, Lead Up for Women, and then you can see all this going down in the studio every single week. And sometimes we're not even in the studio. We're on location somewhere. So super fun. You get to see some fun places. And as always, we are in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's where we record from. So Margarita, are you there?
I am here. This is Margarita from Connecticut. How are you, ladies?
Hey.
Hello, Margarita.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing great. Happy to be on board with you ladies today.
You are perfect for the energy that we have in the room today, I have to tell you. Margarita, I met her for the first time. She is a spiritual, healing, creative life coach. It goes on and on and on what her resume says of who she is. But it was the first time she had come to the luncheon, so I wanted to ask you, Margarita, how were you invited to the Lead Up for Women luncheon or find out about it?
Oh, yes. I would like to thank Dr. Lori Monaco because she invited me. Mm-hmm. She told me I needed to be there amongst these women. So, and I believe that being a part of that reignites what we know, what we forget because of life. And being there on Thursday in Manhattan it recharged my battery to, okay, if I was taking a detour in my path, you, Colleen, and the ladies you had there, brought me back.
Oh, good.
So that it was very empowering for me in the place I'm at in my life right now. So I came back fully charged and ready to reclaim what I had started.
Oh, that's so great to hear. Well, thank you for being there. And I'd like to tell our listeners that you talk about the cricket's whisper. Now, I don't know what the cricket's whisper is, and I'm sure maybe some of our listeners or our viewers on Facebook do know what that is, but would you mind explaining to our audience what a cricket's whisper is?
Cricket's Whisper was born in 2012. I was driving to work as my husband had already been diagnosed with ALS, and I knew that it would come a time where I would have to become a full-time caregiver. So on the way to work, I'm talking with God, and I'm saying, I have all these talents. Guide me to which one is going to financially keep my household while I'm caring for this assignment you gave me. And I heard it. I heard it as I'm driving in the rain to work. I heard crickets whisper. And my first reaction was, what am I going to do with the cricket? So when I went to work, I wrote the mission statement that you wrote up on my bio, and I never changed a word from it. And what it is an empowerment for women because we get so caught up in our everyday life, being a wife, a mother, working, either you're working at home, from home, or away from home, and we get caught up in all the mundane things as well as the caretaking of our family, and we forget ourselves. In the midst of making sure that everything around us is okay, we crumble without even realizing we're crumbling. So the Cricket's Whisper was designed to remind the woman to just sit still and listen to the voice within. Listen to that whisper of hope that tells you, this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and we will rise above it like a phoenix and be as powerful as what we were born to be.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Put us back on our path towards our purpose, and that's what the Cricket Whisper does. And with it, there's accessories that come with it. There's hats and shirts. I make spiritually enhanced jewelry so that when you're feeling lost at any moment of your day, you can even, play with the beads, wrap your arm around the amulets I make, or just be unapologetically courageous when you're wearing this shirt that says, let's just sit still, because we believe we don't have the right to sit still throughout our day because our list is forever.
Yeah.
And it's just sit still and just be quiet. That's what Cricket Whisper means to me, and that's what I try to resonate with all the women I come into contact with.
So you work with other women as a coach?
Yes, I work.
Yeah.
My main objective is women, and to reclaim their power and to just travel that road. And you mentioned something about when you were thinking of going ahead and doing this, and the naysayers that came to you, and see your organicness. You shared your truth of embarking towards your vision, and you bulldozed them, and you proved it to them, not through words, but through action and through accomplishment. And that's what I do with women. I let them know that it's okay to be selfless, and it don't matter who tells you that you're selfish. Just be selfless in what you were born to do and follow your divine purpose. And it's going to be a hard road, and that's what I try in my life coaching, that it's okay, but, without pain, there's no glory.
Right.
So shed those tears, in sweat and blood and tears, and do it and rise above it. And that's what I that's what I do.
No, that is what you do. Yes, you don't try. That's what you do. And I
no. You know what? I just saw you standing there in your black, beautiful jumpsuit talking about try. So yes, that is exactly what I do.
Yes.
I fan the flames of women who are thinking and actually doing the pursuit of their dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. Margarita, that's a wonderful message that you're sending to women. We are so aligned, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to have our paths cross last week while we were in New York City. It was a gorgeous day. It was kind of cloudy. It didn't start raining until late into the evening. And so it was just a beautiful day to be where we were in that space. And I loved it. I thought the energy was great. The panelists were awesome. We have 2 more luncheons coming up. We have one December 10th in Denver, Colorado, and then October 10th in Denver, Colorado, and then we have one in LA on October 24th. So if any woman was listening on the phone or watching on Facebook and was curious as to, hey, I'm going to be in that area, why should I attend? What one piece of advice would you give a lady on why she would attend that luncheon?
I believe that anyone who's in the area, I wish I can fly out there. I would love to go to LA and sit in this event again, just for a whole different atmosphere of things.
Yeah.
I believe it's, go there and feel the energy of empowerment and ignite that belief within yourself, because that's what these events, what this event did for me was to ignite that flame once again that was, it was slowly turning off. And being there reminded me. It's like you juiced me up with the power to say, okay, this is what's happening around me now, and it's not. See, you said it wasn't such a sunny day, but what I love about those cloudy days is that I'm walking through it, I'm walking with it, as I whisper to myself, this too shall pass. So when that sun shines bright the next day, I am celebrating everything that I packed in my backpack the day that it was cloudy, and that was you. That was this event. This event will enlighten a woman who sits there and listens with the greatest belief in herself that the next day she'll want to trademark the name of the business she thought of.
That's
2
great.
days prior to the event.
So to take inspired to take action.
It is an igniting of the flames that you ladies do, that you did, Colleen, and I thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love that you were there, and thank you for sharing your message with all of our listeners, and I love what you're doing. I want more and more and more women to be in a community and helping other women keep their flames lit, as you said, so that we can all be empowered and strong, because as a community, we're all stronger when we're supporting each other. So, Margarita, thank you so much. Thank you what you do every day for women, and keep your flame lit. And for any reason, if you feel like that flame is going to start going out, you just give me a call. and you jump on and talk to
most
any
definitely.
member on Lead Up for Women, and you get the strength that you need from all of us, and you can go back and watch the other luncheons. Ladies, those are all out there for all of you to be able to go listen from the, on demand from your own home, and you can watch any of the luncheons that we've had previously, feel the emotions that were in those, because as you had mentioned, every room is different. Every single room that we go into and the discussions that we have are different. So, Margarita, thank you again for joining us. And I know we're going to see you in the future. So, thank you for joining us. It was great.
Empowering.
Oh, we will. We're going to keep
empowering
going.
with self-love
We're not
and
going to stop. Thanks, Margarita. You have a great weekend. It was great having you
You
on.
too, my love.
Thank you
Bye,
so
Margarita.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Ladies, enjoy.
Okay, listeners, so I'd like to introduce you quickly. We're going to be going to break in a few minutes, but we have some time, so I wanted to introduce you to one of our panel members that we're going to be having at the December. I keep saying December because it's Denver, December.
October.
It's
I won't be
actually
there in December.
Right
I mean,
here in
I'm
front of my face.
My friends would love it if I came back in December, but I'm only planning on
It is
October right now.
Yes. So it's October 10th, and we're going to be having it at the Rhine House. So it's downtown in Denver. It's called the Rhine House, and it's just this super awesome looking. During the day, they do events, and then in the evening, it's a tavern, and it's Irish food. And so it's really going to be an awesome place for us to be able to have our event. I love unique places like that, but I had asked Becky to be there because Becky is an attorney, and Becky is self-employed. She runs her own law firm, and she's also an Arbonne independent consultant. So she's driving her own revenue, doing her own thing, empowered as an entrepreneur. So, Becky, welcome.
Thank you. Well, and I also went to law school out in Denver as well, so that's why that luncheon is. I was planning on coming out to that one to support anyway, and then really to just be out there and to see, my friends and everybody out there and be able to support them as well and invite them to come to the luncheon is a really exciting opportunity now to be on the panel. So,
Yeah, so tell our listeners a little bit about you and your story. So how did you get to Arizona from Denver, and then how did you get to the point where you started your own practice?
yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Tucson, went to University of Arizona, and just kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do in life, kind of did a bunch of different jobs, found a job I was really happy with, working in the fraud department with GoDaddy for a while in the heyday of GoDaddy when it's lots of fun. And it just wasn't, I don't know, that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to be doing. I didn't feel fulfilled at all. And amusingly enough, turned to my DJ boyfriend at one time, who did not turn into the husband, but turned to him at one point. Yeah. And I was like, you want to open a recording studio, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, you're going to need an attorney for that, right? Yeah, I can do that. And so that's the literal story of how I decided to go to law school.
I did not know this.
You don't know this story?
No, and Becky's my friend for everyone listening and watching.
Yeah, we're
neighbors.
neighbors.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a fun fact of how I decided to go. And then we broke up, but I still wanted to go to law school. And kind of fell in love with transactional work, and initially went wanting to get into the entertainment world, but that was 2008. And so we all know what happened then. So there were no jobs.
Crash, burn.
No jobs for anybody.
Right.
So I ended up in banking of all weird things. We moved back to Arizona. So I mentioned we were in Denver for about 8 years. Moved back to Arizona. I had my own practice for a little while up in Denver, but I needed a paycheck. It was hard. So we came back here, started working for a firm, and really got some good experience under my belt. Met some really great people, and learned a whole lot, and then had the opportunity to go out on my own. And I do estate planning, and so I write wills and trusts, and meet with people and figure out how to protect their families and their legacies, and then also work with a lot of small business owners and nonprofits. So anything from starting out and setting up your LLC and getting you official to a whole nonprofit, getting your 501c3 status, and then even to outside general counsel type matters. So, reviewing contracts or just giving you advice on, general day-to-day things that come up. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
So let me ask you a quick question. What did it feel like when you started in Arizona doing your own thing? Because you said for a while in Denver you had your own practice, but then you were like, I need a paycheck.
Right.
So at some point in Denver when you were running your practice, you weren't feeling fulfilled with the enough money that you were generating at one point, and then when you came here to Arizona.
Yeah. You and I both live in a really amazing neighborhood.
Yes,
and so
we do.
we're out in the Eastmark community, which is out in East Mesa, in just outside of Phoenix in Arizona. And I owe a lot to that community. Everybody out there wants to work with each other. They're so supportive. They whatever you're doing, if they find out you're a neighbor, they're like, oh, what's that? I want to work with you. How do I work with you? And so that, I think it was honestly having that supportive environment. Like, you and I had just become friends, so like I had you as a support system, and like my girl power cheerleader to help me get up and do it
in the corner.
But that's what we all need. We all need our cheerleaders in our corner. And you talk about building your tribe and loving them fiercely. Like, I found a tribe, and I was like able to finally start building it, and that's what I needed, was that confidence and that support. So
okay, so we're gonna head to break, and then when we get back, stay with us, because this next segment about building your tribe and having that fierce support, we're gonna get a little bit further into detail and what you can look at for how to launch your business from a legal aspect. So stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, great job. All clear.
All right, sweet. I didn't even get to the
Am I
30-second mark.
allowed to talk at all?
Yes.
Oh, because I just been sitting here going, am I allowed to talk? I'm just going to be quiet.
You can do
until
whatever
break.
you want. No, I'm going to
That's the longest you will ever hear my mouth shut.
on the Facebook
I was
Live.
lifting my chops.
Okay, so Facebook's still with us,
Great.
and they're checking out what's happening. So go ahead while you can go ahead, Becky. Well, why don't you enter it on your phone?
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to enter, if you go to the live video. Same with Anissa. I want you to enter your contact information, how people get a hold of you, if you want to mention your law firm website. So for all of you that are out there on Facebook that are listening to us right now, we always will put in the comment section, those that we have on the radio, how you can reach them, and I'll put a little bit of Margarita's information out there as well. And Margarita, if you're listening, please feel free to go to our Facebook page so that you can go ahead out there as well and add your information out there so that we have everything.
Putting this stuff.
You just go to the comment section. So go to the live video and just click on the comment section.
I'm in the right spot.
Yeah.
What am I putting again?
You just want to put your name and how people reach you, if it's an email, your website address, however you'd like to do that. So Facebook, thanks for being with us today. We've got a few people. Teresa, good morning. I love New York City too. New York City for me is like Vegas, not for everybody. I can take New York City in short spurts, but that's just for me. So when I go to Vegas, I'm good for like a long weekend. When I go to New York City, I'm good for a long weekend. And then I feel like I have to step back out of that life.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Decompress. But some people love New York City, and one thing I've learned about New York City is the second you step out of the door into a community, into the street, into the sidewalk to go anywhere, you are just doused with every type of
energy
and connection and light and some buildings and people and sounds and everything you can think of, smells and just everything immediately. It's kind of an overload for me. Some people that live there love it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like chaos, and
Yeah.
that makes me feel good to be in the middle of everything and know what's going on.
Yeah. I like the big city aspect. Like,
Yeah.
so, I mean, New York, I would live there in a minute if I, could.
All right, Colleen, coming back.
All right. Thanks, son.
But Vegas is a whole other thing. It's not that same big city vibe, So I'm I couldn't do Vegas, but New York.
I couldn't live in a minute.
You were listening to Lead Up for Women. Speak up to lead up. To reach the show today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to info@leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Hey there, listeners. Welcome back to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and we are sitting here with the beautiful Becky Easton, and we are speaking with her about how she started her own business and built her fierce tribe here in the Phoenix area in Arizona. She lives out in Mesa, Arizona, and how she built that tribe and went through the pieces. So launching a business, like you talked about earlier, you help with that as an attorney.
Yep.
So how do you help somebody who is brand new and launching a business? What are your services for that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It initially kind of starts with sitting down and talking to you about what it is that you do and what it is that you're looking to do, how you're looking to grow, and then, deciding, what sort of corporate entity is going to be best for you, whether it's either an LLC or, maybe a professional, like a PLLC or a PC, something like that. And then getting that filed, any sort of legal documentation you need, your operating agreements, everything to get you up and going, figuring out what sort of business licensing you need, all that good stuff.
Do you help with those,
and
like a tax ID number, EIN number? Do you help with those? Okay.
Yep, yeah, we can get that all set up for you as well. Right. So everything to get you,
like a one-stop shop.
Pretty much.
Love it.
Get you up and running, and then off so you can go open your bank account and change the world with your services.
I love that. I love the big vision of changing the world, and I believe that's so important that we all feel that our skills and our talents and what we do every day slowly but surely changes the world. It just changes one piece at a time.
You want to leave it better than you got it, right?
Right. Better than you arrived.
Yeah.
Butt naked. All pure and special.
I'm going out the same way I came in, butt naked.
Yes. Wait, I might too. That's Anniece Acker, my friends. So for those of you that know and see her on Facebook, you know her. And so for our listeners, she's in the studio, and you're going to be hearing from her next. So thank you so much, Anissa, for your comments. But so Becky, tell me, as far as building a business, what is imperative? Like, what have you learned with being an attorney? Because I've used Becky for my estate, and I recommend to everybody. She has her information in the comments section, and I'm going to have you share it live over the radio as well for all of our listeners that aren't on Facebook that are listening. I think that's very important. As far as the estate planning, what piece of that do you take care of for people?
Everything until you get into more advanced tax planning. I can do everything up until that. So, basic wills and trusts, all your powers of attorney. I mean, I think when people think about estate planning, they think of, people with millions of dollars and, lots of stuff and properties and things. And that's just not true. I think one of the...
Society actually is what helps us believe that. Because they build
Those are
the estates, which are bigger, more... Right, I'm not...
No, it's true. It's true. It definitely, there's a reason it has that, that rap. Yeah. But... one of the major keys of estate planning is your powers of attorney. And so what happens to you as a single 18-year-old person when you're in a car accident and you're incapacitated and you can't speak for yourself? And, I mean, does your family know your wishes? Does your family know all of that? So, I mean, maybe your family does at 18, but let's bump that up to 26 and single. Like, do you still have the same beliefs as your family? Or whoever, do you want that person making those decisions for you? Maybe you've been with a long-term partner for years.
Or secretly got married and your parents don't even know.
Exactly. Well, I mean, then then your husband or wife would step in, but
Right.
awkward.
And do they know what your wishes are?
Yeah.
But I think that's something I have to say. You know, even I've been married for 10 years, and I don't think Robert and I really ever sat down and had that deep conversation
Right.
of, so if I'm in the hospital and I have an accident, what would you do? What would you want to do? Would you want to pull the plug? Would you not? You know, those are hard conversations to have. And maybe we recommend that everyone should have those conversations. I always recommend to, you know, my kids that you should have conversations about your faith. You should have conversations about children, about your life, where you want to live, being connected to family. These are all important things that, you know, in your life you need to know.
I was just with some clients yesterday who told me about the awkward family meeting they held with their kids. And they were like, no, this is important. And their kids just wanted to get out of there.
It's very
But it's very important. You should have an awkward family meeting with
Yes.
your parents
And-
or your children.
Yeah.
If we laid it out beforehand,
Yes.
simply saying right from the get-go, these things are very important, and we have it documented for each and every person, and that gives people the ability to speak up and say, this is what I want, not what
does.
mom wants, not what dad wants, not what society wants,
Right.
what I want. And we hate being told what to do, yet when we die, that's what people do, is they just take
Yeah.
control of us
They decide.
and they decide. So
Yeah, well, and
let's
what
take
if-
our power back
And not let the state
and
make
not
a
let the,
decision.
and let the state.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So, I mean, that's another thing. Like, what happens if you don't have estate planning? Well, the state has a plan for you.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, they're going to figure it out.
Not
and
your
they're-
plan. I can tell
might,
you that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It might not be your plan and end up with, you know, your assets going somewhere you don't want them to go. I mean, you're dead. Do you care? But still.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, I know I worked with Becky, and it's just such a relief to know that it's all taken care of, and I know exactly what's going to happen, if a living will, as well as, you know, so if anything medically were to happen to me as while I was still alive. And then also Robert and I travel a lot together. So with Lead Up for Women, he's my videographer, and we travel once to twice a month all around the United States. So if the plane goes down, we're both in it, you know.
Right.
And when you're together a lot, that's, you know, the possibility of that happening. And so we needed to make sure the kids understood what would happen with all of our assets and everything that we
Right.
had at the point, you know, that we weren't around anymore.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
know, with life insurance and all of that. So how could a listener contact you, Becky?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions generally at any time. I'm only licensed in Arizona and Colorado.
Okay.
But I mean, for you listeners
Legal
in
advice.
Arizona and Colorado, I can give you official legal advice, and also help you with documents and anything like that. But yeah, if anyone wanted to reach out to me, you can reach me at 480-577-8584. That's the firm number, and then or directly to my email, which is Rebecca@EastonLawPLLC.com, spelled REBECCA at EastonLawPLLC.com.
Bingo.
PLLC.com. No, that's awesome. That's great.
You got to spell it out.
And you're also an Arbonne consultant.
Yeah,
correct?
you know, you mentioned that, and it's funny. I was thinking you were talking about, you know, my journey and what I think it takes to build a business.
I'm asking that question for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
Please answer that question.
anyway, family
I think
friendly
she finally
show
heard
here.
you.
Yeah.
All my listeners,
I was getting there.
Hey, all my listeners by now know that I have a little, you know, probably AD. I don't label myself, but I have trouble focusing sometimes on one thing, and I'll go from one subject to the next and back, and I might have asked one question, then switched to another, and then never got back to that question.
Oh, yeah. No, we were still on that question,
I love it when people
really.
remind me of things, because I forget, and that's why I need my tribe around me to remind me and help me every day to
Yep.
get through the day.
That's
So
true. Find your tribe.
It's important because women start businesses all the time. And one of the reasons why we want to Lead Up for Women is here. And by the way, Becky's on our board. She's on our advisory board
yeah.
and a member of Lead Up for Women as well. She jumped on like at the very, very, very beginning when
Yeah,
it
you
started.
told me you were starting a thing, and
Yeah.
you're like, you're going to be on my board, and I was like, okay.
She was like, I love this. What are we doing? But it's so great to support other women and be there for them and it's just having that person that helps you be accountable, having that community that helps you, as Margarita said, relight your flame when it starts snuffing out. It's good to cleanse and cry and get things out. I cry a lot. And then feel like, okay, now I feel like I know what I need to do. Like I've got the strength to step forward again. So tell me about.
Well, I mean, and I was going to say, I think one of the most important things about starting a business or keeping it going, or I mean, just life, is personal development, and like not just reading the books. Like that does something.
Application.
Like it does something to read the books and like soak it in, but like actually applying
your
it to your
fingers
life.
get a workout.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, swiping or you know, whatever. But I have been with Arbonne now for coming up on 5 years, and always really loved the products. Fell in love immediately. Fell in love with the idea of the business, and I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to build a business like that. I needed to grow more as a person, and I think that's also in part why I wasn't able to be as successful in Denver with my own firm, was that I just wasn't strong enough of a person to do that, and I needed to figure that out. And that's what Arbonne gave to me. So, I mean, why I've been involved in the business so long without, you know, like promoting through the levels or anything, like it because that doesn't matter. It's honestly, for me, been all about the personal growth. I mean, you'd had Rochelle on here the other week, and like she's amazing and just doing wonderful things with Arbonne, and I mean, I saw that as a thing, but also just the way it was able to build me up, being able to go to like our global training conferences every year in Las Vegas, and being around that like amazing energy of women is just, it's intense, and you walk out of there just feeling so like grateful and uplifted and like happy about your life. And the broadcasters convention that's usually there at the same time like looks at us weird and is like, you are also happy.
What am I supposed to do with all this energy in the room of women? You know,
we're used to negative people.
So Becky, you have grown a lot in the last. I've known you for over a year, but you have grown so much. I mean,
much.
It's helped you be successful in your law business. It's helped you with relaunching Arbonne. You know, what's changed for you? Like, what your day to day? How are you? Are you waking up differently? Is your routine differently? Are you doing something differently? What is it that you feel has become a success factor for you now in doing what you do every day?
I think it's probably being a combination of being more intentional and then also being really honest with myself, like really honest. Like there's no shame about like what I'm doing right now, or like how far behind, how many emails I have in my inbox. Like there's no shame about it. It's just there's a lot of emails in the inbox and you haven't responded to some of them, and it's time to go. Like that's what we need to do. Like don't get stressed out about it. Like being able to, you know, step back and reflect and take a breath and
give yourself some grace.
Yeah. Well, I was a big fan of who's it? Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. I love it. I love it. And while it doesn't always get me going, I will. And for those of you who don't know what the 5-second rule is, basically, anytime you have an instinct to do anything, right? I should go get a drink of water. And you don't.
It's your intuition.
Yeah, it's your intuition saying, I need a drink of water, or I should call that person who's on my mind. And you talk yourself out of that in 5 seconds. So you have an idea, you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you make a physical motion, like you get up to do it. And you do it. And that just keeps you from procrastinating. So, in all honesty, it doesn't always work for me.
Maybe you need 7
I probably need like 2. I don't know. I talk myself out real quick. But I can't remember I think it was a blogger that I was reading on who asked herself, can I just do these few minutes of emails? Can I just clear out this? Can I just do work on this file and finish it up right now? Because by the time you're done with that, you're already working and you're going to do more work. So it was finding little things like that get my motivation.
So the 5-second
going.
rule. So when you feel a gut instinct, or I call them spidey senses, we even talked about that at the luncheon. When you feel that, you're like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because if I don't move my body or make the decision, everything's gonna talk me out of the opposite.
Yeah.
And we all know when we're like, I knew I should have done that.
You want to hear a funny example from yesterday?
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
So I was out with these clients, the ones who had the awkward family meeting.
Oh, yes.
And they live out in Trilogy at Power Ranch. And I recalled that a friend of mine used to work in the kitchen there. And I was like, oh, well, sweet. I'll stop in, I'll say hey. And something was like, you should check Facebook and just double check and see if he still works there. Well, he didn't. And so I was like, oh, well, good. I don't want to have lunch at Trilogy at Power Ranch. Like, Creekside Taco is right up the street. I'm going over there. And so I went in there, ran into a manager that she and I have been talking, I don't know, it's probably been a couple months, but we've been talking about doing, some event in, like a yoga or mixed fit or Zumba party in their sand volleyball court at some point. And she saw me and she's like, oh, hey, you were on my mind. I was just about to call you. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I was supposed to come in here today. I wasn't supposed to go. And, see the other person.
Don't you love? I love the
it.
universe, and I love how much the universe talks to us, and I love how much it shares with us and gives us direction if you're just open to it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know.
High five. Oh my gosh, that's so great. All right, ladies, we've got a roll to break real quick. We'll be back in 2 minutes, and we're going to introduce you to the beautiful Anissa Acker and hear all about her story. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, good job.
Break.
Back in 2.
Woo!
My
Thanks.
toes are like popsicles.
Yeah, it's cold in
It
here.
is chilly in here.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
They're going to be the youngest thing on me.
That was a great story. That was an awesome story.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for that. All right, Facebook, we just want to say hey to everyone that's joined us out there and is hanging out with us today. We will be sure that we have all of the information. I'm going to go ahead and put Margarita's name in here so we have it. Let's see, do I have her on here? So people can reach her. Maybe I don't. Dang it. I don't think I do. All right. Hey, you guys can talk to them. It's fine. You can say what you want to say when you want to say it. So when we get back, we'll talk with you. And then I'm just going to remind everyone who we have as our panelists for the upcoming luncheons and who we have on the show next week. And then I'll close this out. So usually I close this out. They do this little countdown over here to the right. That's what I've been watching. For those of you that didn't know why I kept looking to the right, I've got to do that. So yeah,
I thought you had a thing.
I got to keep us on.
I know,
Yeah,
it's like-
I got to keep us on track. Well, most of the time I'm never even looking at the camera. I'm always to the side because I'm looking at my guests.
I don't think I really looked at the camera
Sometimes
very much.
if I only have one other person here, I'll put the camera there at the end, and then it's on us this way, and then we can talk that way. But I'm still always looking at my guests, so it doesn't really matter to me. Do you know how happy I was that I got to stop at Dutch Bros this morning? It really made my morning. Some things just make you happy.
I have
I
gum
know.
for you after that.
Does I have bad breath? I am like 8 feet away from her, and she's saying I have bad breath. My Facebook friends, help me. Help me.
Help me help her.
Oh,
15
Monk,
seconds.
I'm telling you, it's getting crazy in here today, my friend.
All right. All right, we'll send in the feature link. Here
No other person.
Here we go.
The only word they can use to explain me is, she is authentic.
You are
She has a
listening
lot
to
of
Lead Up for Women. Speak up to
So
lead
they
up.
meet Anissa,
To reach
and
the
they're
show
like,
today,
oh,
please
she's like-
call
she's like a slug.
1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141.
I don't think I've ever been called a
You may
slug
also
before.
send an email to info@leadupforwomen.com.
You're like,
Now, back to this week's show.
Hey, listeners. Welcome back. Oh, my gosh. We're having so much fun in the studio today. So I'm so glad you've stayed with us this entire time. And by the way, we have months and months and months of these radio shows. So go back and check one out, because I've got tons of people in the studio all the time. And head on out to our Facebook page, Lead Up for Women. You can see these live. Again, you're listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And I am your host, Colleen Biggs. I'm also the co-founder of Lead Up for Women, which is a company that you can join at any time. It doesn't matter which country you live in. It doesn't matter if you're a mom. It doesn't matter if you're starting up a business. We exist to ensure that you understand how you can tap into the power that is uniquely your power, that makes you so freaking awesome, of you being you. So we want you to be the best version of you possible and lead your life starting now. I'm giving you all the green light to lead your life without permission. And there is one person I have met in my lifetime, one, that absolutely lives her life every single day on her terms. I try every day. I do. And I'm not going to use the word try, because that means I'm not going to commit. But I wake up every day saying, I'm going to live my life on my terms today and lead my life and write my story without permission, because that's what I want all of you to do. And it's hard. This woman does it every day. We have a lot to learn from her. Welcome, Anniece Acker.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love
Hi, y'all.
her.
I'm so excited
Anissa
to be here.
So Anniece is about 4'2". Just kidding. Yeah, how tall
I'm
are
about
you?
5'1", almost. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were like exactly
you lost
the same
a
height.
foot of me.
Yeah. And Anissa,
tower over you guys.
tell our listeners, Anissa has blonde and purple hair, so you have to go to Facebook to check this out. But, you can see her bio and picture and everything on Voice America Empowerment Channel as well. You can listen on demand, at all these other outlets, iTunes, Apple Play. But, Anissa, tell our listeners a little bit about you and your story, and who is Anissa?
Who's Anissa? I am just like every one of us. I'm a part of this community, because in that word community is the word unity. So we all exist.
Yep.
We all exist together to come together. And a little bit about me. Gosh, I am an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, public speaker. I am a personal power business solution strategist, which gives me the ability to go into a lot of C-suite companies and speak with them. And I have the ability to shift a company, which, when you shift a company, it's really working with the people inside of the company and shifting their mindset and having them recenter and find out who they are, and then have them build the team around them so that they can move forward. What have I done? I built a business from scratch, $1 million the first year, $1 million the second, $1 million the third, $1 million the fourth, $1 million the fifth. I took basically 20.
She's a badass.
That's
what she's
it?
saying.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
She's barely giving it any effort. I'm not even sure.
Barely. The
Yeah.
good thing is, though, as we know, all of that I didn't do by myself. Right? Yeah. Belichick, as great as he is as a coach, doesn't play the game by himself. Right?
No.
He's got a whole team. Everything I've done has been with a team. So what I'm really amazing about is helping people see their value, so that when they are out there looking to build their team, they are really building their team, not building another one of them, not really searching for one of them who doesn't. I love who I am, but damn, you put 10 of me in the room, that's called freaking chaos.
Yeah.
That is
Absolutely.
a no-go. You go nowhere, because literally I'm like a squirrel everywhere, because that's me. So I need people around me to support me. Right? And that's what I do. I took $20,000 and turned it into a few $1 million, because I just sold that business about 18 months ago.
Do you want to tell everyone what business that was?
Yeah. So, guys, I owned an Allstate insurance agency. I also now own an independent agency. It's called Practically Free Insurance. And literally, insurance is like the mafia. Once you get in it, you can't get out of it. It's literally, you guys want some residual income? Talk to me about it, and I'll share all the good secrets and amazing stuff inside of it, because when I kid you not, $20,000, and I sold my business 18 months ago for a few multiple millions is what I'll say. Right?
Amazing.
That's great.
So what do? I take all that information that I have inside of me, I share it back, because it was a gift to me, therefore I gift it forward to others so that they can do the same thing. because, again, this game is only fun if we do it together, and this game of life is really fun when we do it together and we run with our tribe.
We are a tribe, the three of us sitting here. Most people may not know that, but I turn to Anissa for advice. I cry to Anissa when I have a bad day. I ask for whatever it is that I need whenever I need it. When you have somebody in your corner, same with Becky, she helps hold me accountable for things that I need to do, and vice versa. And I really feel that when you have people in your corner and you can trust them, and that's just the one gift I have. I want to talk about Anissa's gift, but I see people for people without judgment, and I just see the good and the potential and the opportunities that exist for them. And Anissa, you have a very, very unique opportunity and skill set and purpose on Earth. You want to share with our listeners what that is?
Yeah, so again, as I say, guys, I have been to the dark side, as many of us have, right? We've all been there, experienced it, because in that darkness is where we really find our gifts. It's learning how to get through the darkness and realizing that the gold mine is on the other side, the rainbow's over there right after the rain. There's the pot of gold. It's how do we do that? And when we talk about being raised and what happened, my upbringing was not very pleasant. So I'll say when I was 16, I didn't have I had asked God to say, please take me, because by the time I was out of high school, I was married, divorced, had 2 kids, and not to mention, as many of you listeners, we're on public radio, but that's okay. My stepdad did things to me that should never be done to a little girl. And, when you live through all of those, and you get to the age of 15 and you're like, what is this life all about? You sit there and go, I don't want to, if this is what it's going to be like forever, I don't want to be here.
I'm out.
I'm out. The difference was I didn't have the ability to go, I'm out. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the Lord took me. When I was 16, I died and went to heaven and came back. I was hit by a car. I was thrown 70 feet through the air. I lost my left kidney. I broke my tailbone. I fractured my pelvis in 2 places. Told I would never walk again. Guys, don't believe everything you hear.
No,
that might be somebody else's truth, not my truth.
She's like super, super, super strong.
Yeah.
She does CrossFit. She does yoga. She has an amazing focus for fitness. It's just ridiculous.
And I know after we met you at the luncheon here up in Scottsdale a few months ago, I know both of us were like, oh, do you remember the buff girl with purple hair when she came in?
Yeah. You're a statement when you walk in a room. You're
Thank you.
an energy when you walk in the room. It's an undeniable that you are in a room when you're there, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
That's what I love so much about you.
We both knew we had to meet you, and you
Thank you.
felt similarly connected to us, and it's interesting how that all works.
I simply think, again, what I'm really good at is helping people learn to live in the moment and not force the moment. I allow them to, we'll just say, drive their car, but without force driving their car, right? Now their car has power steering, yet we still feel like the car we drive doesn't, and so we're forcing our way through life, trying to get in somebody else's lane because it sounds fun, when in reality, God has given each and every one of us a gift. And that gift is special, just like each and every one of us are a miracle. None of us have the same gift. We might have the same mission and we might have the same vision, but the gift and the value that we add to the equation is unique and special. And that's what makes a winning team. And so it's learning how to build that winning team, and to do that first, you have to know who you are. And so my best gift when I was coming back is what I'll say is my best gift I've ever been given is being born again, which is twice in this lifetime. And now I have the ability to see people's auras. So when I look at people, I can kind of see where they're struggling. I see what's coming into their life and what's getting ready to go out of their life. So it really, truly allows me the ability to connect with somebody. Mindful, guys, that please be reminded your aura is outside of your body. Again, that's what I see. It's not what is inside of your body. So at any point in time, Just because I see it doesn't mean you can't change it. Doesn't mean you can't change it. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel that people that have been on the dark side or have made some really, you sometimes we've made decisions in our past, but it's molded you to exactly who you are today. You have to forgive yourself for things that you've done. You cannot go back and change the past, because then your path wouldn't have led to where you are today, and you wouldn't be the person you are today.
Correct.
So you can change your aura, you can change the person, you can change your path. You're the only one that has the right, that has the ability to take responsibility for you and your life and make it exactly what it is that you want it to be.
And I stand here to say you can, right? Come on. Said here, I guess. Thank God. If I stand, don't worry, it's not much bigger.
It's not difference. Yeah. Yeah. Just for those of you on Facebook, you just saw her stand up and she was like 2 inches taller. So, yeah.
I really think I am living proof that it doesn't matter where you came from. All that matters is where you want to go. And the minute you know where you want to go, not only are all of these friends and family and wanting to help, there are people who want to help in this world, want to serve. My mission in life is to serve 1 billion people the opportunity. Know thyself. Love thyself. Step into your greatness. Go to the promised land lit together. And only if you're lit can someone see you. Only if you're lit can you ever serve somebody fully. Otherwise, they're looking at you in darkness also. So our responsibility is really identify what's our gift. And if you need help with that, guys, reach out to me. That's what I do. I don't do anything. I guide. I'm simply a guide.
How would someone get in contact with you? And Anissa and I are going into business together because her mission is exactly aligned with what Lead Up for Women is. And so we're planning our 2020 calendar now, which are going to include longer retreats where we can really get into some deeper pieces of learning and bringing in other experts that do a lot of work and really life-changing stuff. We want to make sure that people do live their life lit, and they are leading exactly their life that they want to lead.
It's called Divine Love, and that's why I think really these are called the Power of Love Summits. I know I haven't spoken to you really.
That's okay.
But I think that'd be a really good idea.
Hey,
you guys, thumbs up, by the way. Oh, this is a by the way moment. Thumbs up. But to call the Power of Love Summit, it's called Divine Love, right? When you not only ask for love from outside of you, but you divinely love yourself spiritually, physically, personally, professionally. When you do that, you have no option but to go up. My new company is called Rise High Now, so it's going to be risehighnow.com. Don't go there because it's just now. That website's getting ready to go. If you want information, though, on me, go to my name, AnnissaAcker.com, ANNIECEACKER.com. And, well, you're on Facebook. You can find me.
You're going to be seeing a lot of Anissa. So she'll be in the studio a lot with us. You'll see more of her on our website. And we're going to be releasing the calendar for 2020. We have a lot coming. We're really excited because we are, no joke, wanting to change the world. And
not wanting.
We are going to change you.
Yeah.
We're changing the world. And we really want every person out there, men and women, to wake up. To really be aware of who they are, what they want in life, and then have the tools that they need to be able to then live the life.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to continue choosing unhappiness.
Right.
You know, I mean,
choose love.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Choose
I mean,
happiness.
Choose love, and I mean, and that's a difficult thing to say. It's really easy to be like, "Oh, Becky, whatever. You have choices in your life," and but the thing is that we all do.
I want to give
even
people
with
wings
something
to fly.
small. Yeah.
All right,
you
listeners, we had a really great show today. I'm going to have to cut us off because we are just about finished. So remember, you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. We will see you guys next week on our September 25th show. Have an awesome week. Take care.
Woo.
Bye.
All right, great show today. All clear.
Woo. I made it. Barely. Sorry, ladies.
No, that's okay.
Thank you.
Let's get up. Let me stop that real quick. Oh, Tasty, you're so sweet.
I wrote that you're like a phoenix
I gotta
rising
stop
from the
my.
ashes.
Hold on,
Truly.
Yes, thank you. You know, look, that's my...
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, wow.